Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. I thought I'd have a little bit of fun and do a top 10 because I've met a lot of stars and celebrities now over the years at conventions and just living in Melbourne in the city, sort of just meet people and going to events and stuff like that. And I have like a folio full of like photos and autographs for Star Trek actors and stuff like that. And I was thinking about the conventions, and I thought most of these people are amazing people. They're great. They're real people. People they love the fans. Other people are just not. And I sort of want to do a little top 10 just for them, just for the fun of it, because, why not spill some tea? First off, Mary McDonald. Now, Mary McDonald, of course, was the president, the female president in Independence Day. It was an amazing performance, and I kind of loved her for that. And she was at one of the conventions, and she was sitting there. I didn't know she was going to be there. I didn't have time to plan anything. I didn't have money for an autograph or a photograph or anything, and there was no one standing in her line just at that moment. So I thought, I'm just going to run up and say hello. I said, "Hi, I'm so sorry. I can't get an autograph. I didn't know you were here. I just wanted to say hello and just say how much I loved, Independence Day and everything, and want to say hi, and because that doesn't cost anything." And she just looked at me like, "You want like a free acknowledgement that you exist? Sorry, you have to pay." She just had this. She just was like, "Mm-hmm," and that's it. I'm like, wow, okay. And I had a similar experience with Michael Biehn. Same thing. I saw him like, "Oh my God, that's Michael Biehn." I didn't realize he was going to be here, and there was no one in his line. And I'm like, because it doesn't look good when they're sitting there, there's no one in their line. I mean, at least it looks better if there's someone standing there talking to them. You assume they're paying for something. So I went up and I said, "Hi, I loved you who's in Aliens and Terminator, I think." And I just said, I loved you in that. I just want to say hi. I can't afford an autograph. I'm really broke, and I just saw you here, and I didn't even realize, blah, blah, blah. And he did the same thing. He looked at me like, "Oh, you want free acknowledgement that you exist? Sorry, you have to pay." It was just really like, wow, okay. And I had three people like that. And the last one was the original Supergirl. And I can't remember her name, but who cares, because she was not nice. Same thing, I went up and I just said, because I've done this to many actors over the years, because there's whole rows of people, and sometimes you just don't see when you're looking through the internet, the websites and the brochures, like you don't realise sometimes who's there and that, or sometimes people get added last minute and you don't realise. I missed the Supernatural boys. I was going to go see them. I was going to go to the event. I didn't go because no one was really there. I wanted to see this one person. I didn't end up doing it. And then they got pulled in last minute, never knew about it, found out afterwards. Hurt so bad because I could have met them both, got photos of them both, would have been great. But some of the people have been really nice. I've gone up to David Faustino, who was the act, Ensign Ro Laren, she was there. Some other people, just gone up to them and just said, "Look, I'm sorry, I don't have money for an autograph. I just want to say hello. I just wanted to just meet you and say hello just for a second." And they're really nice. They're really sweet people. They're not like these other people. And the last one, like I said, was Supergirl. Same thing. I just said, "I just want to say hi. Sorry, I don't mind for autograph or anything. I just wanted to say hello. And I love, you were Supergirl and that." And she just looked at me like, "You want free acknowledgement you exist? You have to pay." They're just really cold and looking at me like, "Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What am I getting from you? Money? No. What?" Yeah. It's just really cold business. I'm like, yeah, no, didn't need to meet you in the first place. That's okay. Now, the other ones I want to mention were people who were offensive to me. First off, Herbert Jefferson Jr., a boomer from the original Battlestar Galactica. Now, I'm going to say this was homophobia. He didn't directly say anything to me like the next person I'm going to mention, but he was in the little autograph section because there was it was some little convention center sort of thing, and there was like an outdoor room where there was like all the stalls and stuff, and there was the inside part where the actual convention was. And it was before or after the Q&A session. He came out, he was just looking at stuff, and I found Battlestar Galactica premiere, whatever you call them, that you get at the premieres, program. And I was looking at that, and I said, "Oh, this must have been when they showed it in the UK," because it was shown as a film in the UK. And it was treated like a film in the cinema with the programs and all that sort of stuff. And he looked at me like, "I know that, I was there." And I'm like, I wasn't. That's why I was sort of guessing what it was. And he was just really rude, and he was just really rude to me after that. Like, just we had a couple little interactions in the area, and I'm like, oh, he's looked at me and he's worked that out, and he's just offended by my existence. So I haven't said anything wrong, I haven't done anything wrong. He's offended by me and doesn't want to be in the same area as me. That was the vibe I got. I'm not accusing him of anything, but it was just really not nice. And I had another worse experience with Ken Sagos, who was in Friday the 13th Part 3 and 4. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 and 4. Oops, sorry. We'd already done all the Q&A stuff and that like that, and I'd already done the autograph with him, and he'd worked out that I was gay, and when he was leaving to go to the elevator and he passed me because I was in that section still, he basically said, yeah, I got your number, faggot, basically. He didn't say faggot, but he said something else, and then went as he was walking to the elevator, and I'm just standing there like, what? He said, like, I got your number, gay boy, or something like that. He said something like that, like, I know you're gay. Like, I know you're gay. Like, what, and he left. And I'm like, really? You had to point out that you knew I'm gay, and like somehow like what was that? So that was really offensive. And actually, come to think, oh no, I'm not going to say anything about him. Someone else, I'm finding a bit of a trend between African American people and homophobia that I've met, frankly, because there is in the culture a lot of religious beliefs, and there is, I'm hearing, some homophobia in the African American community, more so than some other communities, and I feel like I got a little bit of that from one of the other Star Trek stars, and I'm not going to mention him because I have too much respect for him in general, and it may have just been me being overly sensitive or paranoid, but I felt like he reacted to me when I was doing a Q&A to something that I said. I'm going to let it go. Who's next on my list of people who I want to trash? Robert Englund. He was really, really rude. I met him. He did a Q&A, and it was a really scary moment where he was talking and he just got excited about something he was remembering, and he just went into that Freddy voice for a second, and I was just writing some notes or something, and suddenly it was like Freddy was in the room, and it just made me jump out of my seat. It was really scary. But later when we did the Q&As and stuff, the autographs and stuff, I was the last person to come through with an autograph. And I said, I'm the last person, it's done, you're done, sort of thing. And he said, oh, gee, you're the last, hey, I'll give you an extra autograph. And I'm like, wow, that's really nice. And then the guy running the event came over with a stack of autographs to do for the people who were running the event and people who'd paid for autographs who couldn't be there and stuff like that. And he just looked at me like, you lied, you weren't the last person. I'm like, I was the last person in the line. I didn't know he had a bunch of people, and it's like I gave you a free autograph for nothing. And he just gave me the dirtiest look. And unfortunately, I ended up being in the elevator with him on the way down when they were leaving, because I was hanging out with some of the people who were running the thing and or working on the thing. And in the elevator, he was giving me this death stare. I'm like, I'm getting death stares from Freddy Krueger. It was terrifying. And I know he's just a person, but he's Freddy Krueger, and he's looking at you like, it was not good. So that's another one. Mary McDonald, the girl who played Supergirl, I can't remember her name, Michael Biehn, Jerry Ryan and Shatner, of course. I've told my William Shatner story. He was looking at the chest of a woman ahead of me and talking to her like she was the most amazing thing in the world because she had cleavage. And then as soon as she left and I walked up, he just put his head down, started writing an autograph, and I spoke to him twice. He didn't look up, he didn't acknowledge me. He just slid the autograph forward, and then I got his attention by saying, you look so much better in person than you do in the photographs they're doing. He said, what? I said, you should shoot that photographer for those photos. You look so much better in person. And I walked off. I left that in his head. And he's like, what? And I got in his brain because later I saw him coming back from the photo area and he recognized me and he gave me the dirtiest look because when he was getting his photos taken, he was thinking how bad he looked because he looked like a big pink Jabba the Hutt. And he's just horrible to people. He's just horrible. There's millions of stories over the years, not just mine. And I've got other friends who met him who had bad experiences, particularly women and I won't go into that because I'm, liable. And then there was Jerry Ryan. She's practically a Borg. She was just a machine. She didn't care about anyone she spoke to. And I wanted to share this story with her because I asked her a question about, did she base the character on Seven? Did she do any research into molestation and child abuse and childhood trauma to, create this character that was basically violated when she was a child and turned into an alien cyborg and all that? And she actually did, and she talked about that. It was a really good question. She got to talk about her craft and research and all this stuff. And then afterwards, when I met her, I wanted to tell her a story of a friend who had a similar experience and what that character meant to her. And she just blew me off, and I'm like, wow. I thought she's just busy, and I went back, got to the end of the line, and came back in again. I said, I really just wanted to share the story with you. And she was just like, oh, you again. And I'm like, you know what? You don't deserve my story. It's beautiful, it's inspirational, and you don't deserve it. And I just said, oh, my niece who wants to be a teacher loved you in Boston Legal. I just want to tell you that. And then I left, because that wasn't what I was going to say. That was nothing. So who else? Have I gone over everyone? I think that's everyone. So Mary McDonnell, Supergirl, Michael Biehn, Shatner, Jerry Ryan, Nicole Debonair, or whatever her name is, from Deep Space Nine, Esri Dax. When I met her, I'd made trebles for all the guests at this convention, so I thought I'd offer them a treble. I made them the day before, brand new, and I sort of handed it out to her, and she looked at it and said, "Where's this been?" And I think that was the look on my face. And I was like, and she immediately was like, oh, gee, wow, she saw the look on my face and realised how much she'd offended me. And I said, I just made it yesterday for the convention. And then she took it and didn't say anything else because she felt bad, I think. But she insulted my treble. You insult my treble, you insult me. So she makes it on the list. And Dominic Keating, when he was talking about getting involved in the Star Trek Enterprise production, he appeared to out one of the people in the production. And I don't know if the person is out or if he was just joking, but I found that incredibly offensive as a gay man, and I just sort of folded my arms and looked at him like, really? And I had no time for him at the convention. I met him and I'm just sort of like, okay. I'm not going to call you on that now and create a scene, but that was really offensive. So Dominic, Ken Sagos, Herbert Jefferson Jr. and Robert Englund. They were probably the rudest or weirdest people that I met out of all the people I'd met. There's another couple who almost made the list, but I want to keep it to 10. So that's my 10 most uncomfortable or rudest star/celebrity experiences that I've had at the conventions. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Did you have any bad experiences with these actors or anyone else you want to share? Feel free to, drop the shade in the comments.